children of the cornfield, trying to turn a shift job into a dollar bill. We wear the muddy boots, stay true to how we're raised. Ain't nothing about us fake. You know we're straight out of that dirty South, dirty roads. Nobody got no money, got them signed up pickup trucks, whistling at them from the country. Yes, sir. You know we're straight out of that long week working now. Everybody wanna party all night long, bonfire on the back 40 in the middle of nowhere. Nobody going home tonight till we're straight out of moonlight, straight out of moonlight.
Oh, how about this for a tough choice early on? Which direction they go here is going to say a lot about what this team wants to do. Oh, no need to worry about this guy. Just plug him right into a starting role, and he'll be a massive upgrade.
It's the kind of thing, you know we're straight out of that dirty South, dirty roads. Nobody got no...
Yeah, here's a spot where the fan base would be... And this team does have a lot of needs, but this guy is a legitimate star, and he'll make everyone around him better.
Working now, everybody wanna party.
Still some big holes remaining to be filled. Here's where you may have to go after a lower-rated player just to make sure you get covered. Tough call here. Do you try and get tougher up front or get yourself a player in what we call a skill position? These are the rounds you love to see. Some big names to choose from here. One Steeler's been selected already, and it probably wouldn't be a surprise to see a second go here.
You know we're straight out of that dirty South, dirty roads. Nobody got no money. Got the
3 choices here, all of them impact players.
from the country, yes sir. You know we're straight out of...
Still a few holes on this roster and not a lot of time left to do anything about it. And now's where you need to make these last picks count. Time to fill any holes you can before it's too late. The Raiders may not be coming off the best season, but they do have a few good assets. And here's a chance for a second to come off the board. These are tough decisions here, offense or defense. Which side has the more pressing need? A bit of a dilemma with this threesome. Which side of the ball do you turn your focus to here? Boy, it's finger-crossing time now. With the end in sight and a few more holes to fill, you've got to be hoping that there's still a gem or two that becomes available.
Thank you very much, Larry Ridley. I'm Brandon Gaudin with Charles Davis. We are ready for this draft champions matchup as you get a quick peek at some of the stars in today's game. We're ready to go. Let's get down to kickoff. And it's the birth of a new club as we're underway in draft champions. This is fielded a couple yards deep. solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. First carry now. This is Johnson. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Second down following the run.
First play of the drive. Let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Looking for his tight end Gates, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Ray Malaluga. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game. We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Well, good field position to start the drive, but under the gun now here on 3rd and 8. An extra DB added here for the Cards on 3rd.
Blitzer play coverage.
To throw, Cousins. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
What I loved about meeting with these coaches before the game is we didn't even have to ask any questions. They told us that they were going to be aggressive and push the ball downfield. They weren't successful on that play, but look for them to try it again later.
So now it's Andrew Franks on for the field goal. On the right hash, it's a 43-yard attempt. And Frank's kick is good. And the Eagles, they take a 3-0 lead. So after the pick, they can't capitalize for 6, but they do get 3.
And I know in this situation, most of us want to focus on the offense. You know what side of the ball I played on. Let's give that defense a lot of credit. Taking it over in a sudden change situation and shutting them down.
Now it's Franks following the made field goal to send it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Here's Palmer. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Ahmad Brooks coming in from that outside linebacker spot to bury him for a loss of 7. 2nd down, sacked by the defense. What type of pressure will they bring here on 3rd? We'll see. Now Palmer on 3rd and long. And this is going to be caught. No, they say it's incomplete. Duke Johnson, the one he was looking for. And that's going to make it 4th down.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
Now it's Palmer. He gets this one to Michael Crabtree. A surprising move to go for it, predictably, at least somewhat predictably. It doesn't pay off, and the Eagles are going to take over in great field position. A 1st down carry now for Miller. Trying to get out wide, but he's going to be tackled right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Well, usually you don't think of the cornerback coming in for a no-gain play, but that's what we had there. Nice tackle.
Man, how about the range, too? Coming from the outside part of the play, moving his way into the inside and making that play happen. No gain for the offense, big play for the defense.
Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. On 3rd down, Miller. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
On offense, the guy that you want to have the best eyes on the field are your quarterbacks, so you can see everything pre-snap, and then, of course, as the play develops. On defense, oftentimes it's the linebacker, and on this play, his eyes took him right to the ball, and he made a nice tackle.
They pass up the 3, fake it, it doesn't work. So out now come the Cardinals. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd. And a play like that, with how far he had to go to make that sack, shows how athletic defensive ends have become in the NFL.
And not just athletic, this is coached in a big way. Run to the football at all times. How about him never giving up on it and pursuing all the way across the field?
They'll indeed go for it. Palmer. And this is incomplete. Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Eagles with the ball here to begin quarter number 2 as they'll take over with the ball 1st and 10. Miller, the lone setback. He'll get the football here. And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
A 1-yard gain can look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
And they get 10 yards there and convert on 3rd.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game. Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
They'll try to throw now. Cousins. And he's got his man on the comebacker. That one good for 14 yards. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
As if he didn't have enough to think about on that route, the comeback route, coming back to the football and catching it, decided to make sure he toe-tapped and kept himself in bounds.
And that was spectacular, but on the comeback route, maybe a little easier to deal with the sideline since you've got better vision of it.
I think that's a great point because you should know exactly where you're going and know how much space you have and make sure you get your feet down. But, yeah, coming back to the football, I like it. Good vision.
And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone. So incomplete on 1st. Let's see what 2nd down has in store. They'll run it now out of the gun. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Tackle made there by Ray Malaluga, the linebacker. They're going to hurry back to the line now. Cousins now. He'll buy some time right. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
Not only did they drop what looked like an interception in the end zone, they blew a golden opportunity to shift the momentum.
And they're going to at least line up to go for it here on 4th down. Cousins to throw for it on fourth. And it is incomplete. The Eagles unable to convert there on fourth. And the Cardinal defense is going to get the football back. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on fourth, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to give a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say, maybe makes that offense feel good, but when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And that's going to lead to a third down. And now they're in the hurry-up. On third down, Palmer looking for Colston, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And the return will stop right around the 25. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you've got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you've got to be ready to...
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Lamar Miller, 24 yards. And the Eagles add 6 to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Cardinal offense now making their way back out onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here. It is hard in zone coverage to stop a curl route because when they see it, they just try and find the open spot and sit down.
Yeah, we always talk about finding the soft spot in the zone. What's the key to doing that? And now this one's intercepted. A third interception for Palmer. Picked off by Antoine Blake. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. The Eagles offense now, they head back on the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys. And
this is taken in at the 5. A big play there just before halftime. 54 yards.
All right, partner, that's it. That's a video game highlight catch right there. Acrobatic, one hand, come down with the football. Look, if you and I are playing Madden right now, I'm throwing down my control. I'm done. That's it. I can't do this anymore. Yet, we see it happen just about every week.
He rifles one that's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And you got to think, if this is anything other than just taking a knee, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, they've got enough to talk about at the half. Why do anything else? Just get out of there.
So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando, he's standing by with our EA Sports halftime report. Larry, both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he is out of bounds here on the return. Out come the Eagles now as he'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They go play action here on first down. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. Marcus Wheaton was the one he was looking for. And it'll be 2nd and 10.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game. Plays or big plays, and you don't get many opportunities to dial them up, and they just did, and they drop it with a great chance to make a big play.
And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter.
Here we go now. 3-19.
On 2nd down, here's Miller. 2nd down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the 3rd quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the 2nd half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
And the yellow flag hurts this offense, and now they face a tough 3rd down. Miller, the lone setback. Now they'll run it on the toss. It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves them looking at a 4th down.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end, in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
And they'll run for it with Miller. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Lamar Miller stops short of the sticks. And the Cardinal defense is going to get the football back. So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this 3rd quarter. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out that's going to happen. But the first part...
Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well. But once again, a good example of situational football. That was 3rd and very long, so you know they were guarding against the pass. And when they decided to run the ball, that was okay. Whatever yardage they picked up, as long as they didn't get to the 1st down marker, the defense was willing to concede, and they stopped them well short of a 1st down.
And look at this. It's a fake. And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on 4, turned it over in their own territory, but the other guys held up. They didn't give up any points.
So how about the guy with the #1 headset on the sidelines, the head coach? That was planned going into it, not necessarily to not get the 1st down or to have the defense have to hold it.
He trusted his defense.
Trusted his defense very much, and I think that that's how he's going to play this game. Go for it, be aggressive, because I've got the wild bunch backing me up over here on my own side.
Now we'll see what his offense can do. Offense trying to avoid stalling out, facing a 3rd and 10.
A missed opportunity for an interception would have killed off the drive. They had a chance there to finish things off. Didn't get it done. I guess that's why a lot of those guys do not play offense.
Cooper Helfeth, the tight end, was the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Tremendous coverage there. Just did not catch the football and complete the interception. But what do they say all the time? If he had really good hands, he'd be playing offense.
Now Cousins on 4th down. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. The Cardinals offense now works their way back onto the field. And last time we saw them go for it in kind of an unusual situation. It's not like it's a fourth quarter do or die. They went for it, didn't get it. We'll see how that affects them this go-around.
Partner, I'm wondering if we're starting to see the effects of analytics coming into play here.
And his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. A great read, and it's picked off. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their...
Lamar Miller, 20. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Lamar Miller, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Eagles add on to their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those two TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. The bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Frank's now on to kick it away after the touchdown. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. They find some open field here. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. A big run there by Johnson. 48 yards on the ground. They'll throw on first down here with Palmer. That is caught inside the 5. It's a gain of 24 that time. And the Cardinals are going to have it now first and goal. They've been struggling in the passing game. Do you like the aggressiveness there? I mean, it worked on that play, but do you like it?
I do, because a lot of the time you're struggling because your passing lanes are clogged. That usually happens when you're throwing the ball underneath. People start to press up on you. Push them deep. Find some space and open things up again. Being aggressive there, I think, will pay off for them.
Here we go. Blue 58. Blue 58.
Back now in Miami. It's Cardinal football, but they trail here as we get set to bring you the fourth and final quarter. On second down, here's Palmer. He's got his man. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Marcus Colston from a yard out. And the Cardinals get a bit closer. So here's a big play for the Cardinals as they'll go for 2. Palmer looking to throw. And they don't get it. They tried for the 2-point conversion there, but unsuccessful. Frank's now on to kick it away after the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in, because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. They'll need to get the play off quickly. They keep it with Miller on first down. Oh, what a move. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. Miller will get it. He has been busy today. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
Any team that runs the toss and runs it successfully, that means they win the battle on the edges. That means you seal the edge in order to let your back get to the corner. They got it done there for a very nice game.
They'll run with Miller. And he's able to get this one down to about the 40. And they give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. Now a 20th carry of the game for Lamar Miller. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always...
Now here's a timeout defensively coming from the Cardinals. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. They'll run. It's Miller. And he'll get nothing out of that one. Lamar Miller stops short of the sticks. And that should just about put this one in the win column for the Cardinals. Well, they knew who to turn to on 4th down. Their horse, they needed the short yardage. He just couldn't get it.
And that's a surprise because normally that's bread and butter for them, right? Hand it to the big guy, let him go.
It's caught inside the 25. A huge play there for Arizona. 41 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
Now Palmer, he's going to let it fly. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Morgan Burnett. Philadelphia getting set to take the field.
Just a bunch of poor boys, daddies, girls, children of the cornfield, trying to turn a shift job into a dollar bill. We wear the muddy boots, stay true to how we're raised. Ain't nothing about us fake. You know we're straight out of that dirty South, dirty roads. Nobody got no money, got them signed up pickup trucks, whistling at them from the country. Yes, sir. You know we're straight out of that long week working now. Everybody wanna party all night long, bonfire on the back 40 in the middle of nowhere. Nobody going home tonight till we're straight out of moonlight, straight out of moonlight. Just a bunch of John Deere junkies getting funky to some old hang. Nothing been stuck in the mud that we can't hook up to a rusty chain in the sun or in the rain. It's the kind of thing, you know, we're straight out of that dirty South, dirty roads. Nobody.
Thank you, Larry. So the picks are in. We welcome you to this Draft Champions contest. I'm Brandon Gaudin along with Charles Davis, ready to call the action. And let's get to it. Down to the field. It's time for kickoff. Two teams here amped and ready for football, and off we go in week 2 of Draft Champions. This is taken at the 3. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. On the ground, this is Lamar Miller. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
He was looking to get it to his running back, Lamar Miller. And they're going to face a 3rd down. Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. They'll try to run for it with Miller. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard.
Green, 39. Over.
They'll run it again with Miller. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. They'll give him a yard on the play. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. Now a play fake here on first down. Eluding the pressure right. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he's brought down. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
Flush to his right. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Lamar Miller, 51 yards. And the Eagles have taken the early lead. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who is a complete guy, who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
Frank's now on to kick it away after the touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. They'll come out in the pistol. Again, we'll see the pistol here. To throw, it's Carr. Being chased out left. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
This one complete to Devin Funchess. And he's brought down after a good gain. He got 29 yards that time.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And he's brought down 11 yards on the pickup, and it'll be first down Eagles.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the 2nd level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
Give him 2 yards on that play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Quit acting like you're so old. You're only 6. And he's going to be wrapped up and driven down. Amon Brooks coming in for that outside linebacker spot to bury him for a loss of 7. Let's see, the defense might bring some added pressure as the offense is dealing with a 3rd and long. Throwing now is Carr. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
And no move to pull Carr and the offense off. They're going to go on 4th down.
All right, here we go. Zebra.
They'll go for it. It's Carr. And this is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Eagles defense able to hold. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Miller, the lone setback. Throwing his Cousins. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Dante Fowler in there to bury him for a loss of 11. So a big sack on second down. Now let's see what the offense has in store for third.
Here we go. Boom. Here we go.
Third and long for Cousins. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Everything looked right on that play except the conclusion. He dropped it, an in route, going into a little bit of traffic. Maybe in the back of his mind, he was wondering where the hit was going to come from.
Oh, it's a wobbler here. Not good at all. Punt of just 24 yards there. And the Eagles take possession. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They had a great drive going last time. They were moving the ball, and then all of a sudden it just stalled out. So we'll see what they can do here, Charles.
And it's always easy to second guess when you don't get it on a fourth down try. But they had to like the feeling that they had going on offense. They want to continue to see if they can capture that again on this drive and maybe get in the same position.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, like I said, they were moving the football. It's not like they went 4 and out, so I don't think it's a deal where the offense doesn't have confidence.
No, I agree with you totally on that one. If anything, they may have gained more confidence. Okay, they stopped us once. That's all right. Let's keep moving it. Make them do it again.
17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down. Carr now on first down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Give him 6 on the play, and it'll make it second down.
It appears they found something that's working, and they keep going back to it. I guess you can actually say he has the hot hands now, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, it's one thing to hit your guy out of the backfield once, hit him a couple times. Yeah, you're right. Maybe they're onto something.
And I think a lot of that is simply if you get it to him in space, more times than not, he's going to get more yardage than you expect out of each play.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Miami after this. Carr looking to throw on 3rd and 2. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And the ball is knocked out. And it's picked up by the Eagles.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Watch it now, Barney. All right, now, look at 56.
Play fake. Cousins. Flushed out right. And he slings one that's incomplete. That one was intended for John Brown. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. So they're behind the chains as the offense. 12 yards needed on 3rd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down. And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Here's Colton Schmidt now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt like they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? Left side, it's Dorsett. And he spins past him and into space. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll be a second down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Carr, and he's got his man in stride, complete. And he's brought down. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Second down now after the incompletion. Now, Carr again. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
They'll run it here with Smith. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. 1 receiver left, 3 to the right. On 1st and 10, here's Carr. That is caught at the 7. And he's brought down. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal. Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. Shotgun now for Carr. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. Second down here after the incomplete pass. From the gun, it's Carr. Forced out to his left. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it 3rd and goal.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
And Lambeau will put this one through. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As we send you up to Orlando, and with our EA Sports halftime report, here's Larry Ridley. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 yards with a new rule as he's taken down right at the 20-yard line. Out come the Eagles now as he'll go on offense first here in the 3rd quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. The 15 yards there on the scramble and a 1st down. Fresh set of downs here.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it.
Looking for his tight end read, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Ray Malaluga. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down. 7 yards remain now on 3rd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Brandon, that play ended so fast, it was almost as if the quarterback handed it to the runner, and the tackler was there right away for a loss of yardage.
Dorsett on the return. It'll be a 47-yard punt with a net of 40 following a 7-yard return. And the Eagles will be backed up deep to get the drive started as they take over 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT. Looking deep downfield. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play? And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. They'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Now Carr. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
They do go for it. It's Carr. And it is incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Eagles are going to take over in great field position. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
They'll try and get the run game going. This is Miller. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
He won't go down. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave him with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down. So they've been unable to capitalize on the great field position as of yet. Here's 3rd and 9. On 3rd down, Cousins. Hard throw, incomplete. So on now the field goal team for Philadelphia. From the right hash, it's a 38-yard attempt. And Frank's kick is good. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So a good kick there, and they wrap up the drive by putting 3 on the board.
And you know, let's face it, you're not always going to come away with 6. Defense in the NFL are just too good. But you've got to come away with something. And there, they get 3.
The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And last time, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. Let's see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game. And sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out. Now Carr throwing on 2nd down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46.
Not only did we just see back-to-back nice gains, but we're also seeing the confidence rise, not just for the guy who caught it, but the guy throwing it as well.
And these back-to-back catches here out of the backfield, that can set something up downfield in a later sequence, right?
A lot of the time, it starts to draw the defense closer to the line of scrimmage. So to your point, show this swing pass, show this check down. Maybe later on you heave one deep when you catch him close to the spot.
Carr now on 1st down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. They were looking for Marshall that time, and that'll make it 2nd and 10. Unable to connect on the 1st down pass play. Now it's 2nd down.
Well, any caused incompletion is good for a defense. But when you add to it, you get a little hit on the quarterback, knock him to the ground, make him think a little bit, hopefully knock him off his game, especially in a game of this magnitude, this tight in the 4th quarter. Got to feel pretty good as a defense. Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field that's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. Doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
To throw his car, finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. Throwing on first down is Carr. Buying time to his left. Call it a 3-yard gain, and it's a second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
They isolate Jeffrey to the left side. Throwing now is Carr. Looking for Funchess, but it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Ray Malaluga. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking, because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try and increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So the D-line's going to spread out. They'll toss it to Miller. A beautiful fake. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Give him 2 on that run, and they're still left looking at a 3rd and about 9 to go. And you would have to think an obvious passing situation here on 3rd and 9.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Now he's going to let it go deep right sideline. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And out come the Eagles. They're down here in a 1-score game. But the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
They have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. And the offense looks to pick up the first here on 3rd after that incompletion. They'll run it now out of the gun. Fighting through. And he's got some space here. The 40. The 20. And yes, he's into the end zone. So they get the late score they needed. And now the extra point can tie this thing up in the final minute.
And while it appears the heavy lifting was accomplished by scoring the touchdown, they're still down 1. That extra point is not a gimme.
And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. Set to go now with the kickoff. These two teams all even again as we continue in this wild 4th quarter. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. They get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play, but if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked Picked off here by Aaron Colvin, and they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. And Philadelphia ready to get going on offense again. They can still get into field goal range, partner. They got to work quickly, though.
I agree with you totally. Find a way to get the ball downfield and out of bounds. In a perfect world, they know what hash they want to get to for their kicker, and they already know the distance that he feels comfortable. That'll dictate what they do on offense.
See if they can get in his range. Carr on the right side, Reed. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. And the Eagles will go with an extra DB here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd.
Thinking pass all the way.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Give him 3 on the play, and it'll be 4th down. And whistle blown. A timeout here is taken, and it's taken by the kicking team. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. Tie game, 4th quarter, and they're going for this thing on 4th down. Now Carr, and Marshall's got it. That one good for 21 yards. And they're able to pick up the conversion here on 4th down. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. He made his only attempt earlier. This for the win. And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
And it's been loud in here so far. They go back to the ground with Smith. We'll give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
That's another nice run, and I have to tell you, some of the coaches that I played for, their philosophies were always different when they see a guy running the ball well. Some of them wanted to immediately go to play action and throw it now because it's wide open. While other coaches said, you know something? Until they stop him, that big boy's going to keep getting the football. And that might be the direction that they're going to go right now. He's got to be kicking himself right there. His team's already picked off 2 passes. That would have been the 3rd in the game. And, boy, they've really played well attacking the football.
And he's got this one just across midfield to the 49. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
Carr now on first down. Looking for his running back, and he's got it. And he's going to be taken down, but not before reaching the 15-yard line. And here comes play number 6 on this drive.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field. That was a really nice play, be able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free, and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a pretty little juke move there on a nice gain. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now. They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. They'll run it now with Smith. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This to at least get them a lead here in overtime. And Lambeau will put this one through, and they will take the lead at 13-10. So they do get the short field goal here to get them the all-important overtime lead. But, Charles, you wonder if they'll wind up ruining the fact that they were able to get down into the red zone, yet not able to find the touchdown that would have won them the game.
Brandon, you're absolutely right. In overtime, when you get the ball first, the hope is your opponents never see the football. But now they're going to get a drive to try and win it, or at least keep the game alive with a field goal. And I'm getting a dictionary out to look up ruin.
The first throw in overtime now for Cousins. He's going to fire one deep, middle of... Oh, and it's intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. All defeats are tough, partner. An overtime defeat, though, that one hurts.
Yeah, that's like taking the extra punch almost after the bell that knocks you down and out, yet it counts for the other team. Very difficult. They've got to pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and get ready for next week.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thank you, Larry. Brandon Gaudin, along with Charles Davis here in the booth. We are set for a spectacular draft champions matchup and some spectacular talent on your screen right now. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get down to the field for kickoff. The getting to know each other process is over. Time to get down to it. And we're off in week 3 of Draft Champions. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Defense feeling the encouragement. They stop him at the line of scrimmage on the first play of the afternoon.
Now that's the type of play that'll fire up the defense. Hold him to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to...
He's got a man complete. And he's brought down after a good game.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
Now a play fake here on first down. Underneath for Miller. And he's brought down. They'll get 17 yards there. And it'll be a Philadelphia first down.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And that player is able to get on the run, and was still accurate throwing the football.
Cousins now to throw on first down. And that's incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball, and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Down to the 25. Just a couple there on the second down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game. While we're not playing 3 yards in the cloud of dust football anymore, I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good.
And it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Donald Butler. And nothing but daylight ahead. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Cowboy defense has a touchdown. So they go on 4th down. Not only do they not get it, it turns into 6 points the other way. Disastrous.
And many people think you should just go ahead and knock it down in that situation. Turn it over for the offense. But I had a defensive coordinator recently tell me, we see that as a passive play. We don't do that anymore. We want the ball in our hands, and we want to head the other way.
Probably also instinct a lot of times. If you see a lot of green grass ahead of you, go ahead and grab it.
It's the exact right play to do. That's knowing when to break the rules and when to make a play that maybe you hadn't been taught.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape.
Babe, show me what you like. Hey, I put money, I can match it for ya. I'm in this in all white fit, looking like a brick and all them zippers on his jacket on ya. He got a thing for a Latin. He wanna hear a little Spanish? I told him it. Practice it. I'm about to fill you up with status. Walk up with the click and I ain't looking like the side in this. I'm the opposite cause I'm the main event in boxing, and it has the time been ticking. I've been out here playing my position. I'm about to get it now. Ain't no one about to block my hit. Cause someday, something come along. Someone tell me I'm someone doing alright, doing alright. Somewhere, somebody that someone, somebody that one day will be the love of my life. Love of my life, but not tonight though. I'm only here for a minute. Bet you want a girl to keep it independent, and I know you gotta like a girl that's this appealing. Get you caught up in the moment, then I'll get you in your feelings. Tell your boys that you gon' meet them later on. Both of us are so taxi, leave the meter on. First time you out in Cali, never tried no strong, so you gon' have some stories to tell when you take it back home and tell them one time, Snowy always showed you what it's like. Leave you sleepy like the call the umpire. Get you out and get you rolling, get you gotta go. I got a flight up in the morning on someday, something come along. Someone tell me I'm someone doing alright, doing alright. Somewhere,
Boy, we've just gotten started here, and already these guys, boy, you talk about a friendly turn of the cards. This is a great round for these guys as they get themselves a dynamic player right here. This is a pretty telling pick here. Do you go for a big bruiser up front or get yourself... And that's a pick that'll solve a lot of problems out there. He'll fit in nicely.
He trying to catch me in my feelings, but he don't know that I'm the... He trying to stop me, give me drinks. I got the bottle in the section and I promise.
So with a handful of starters already nailed, and there's a pick that does fill a hole, but I'm not sure that it's really going to be the one that improves the overall squad a tremendous amount. I'll tell you right now, you won't go wrong adding any of these guys to your team. Yeah, I think with that pick, you're just looking to build up your core. Get some guys in here that can help round out the roster. Oh, no question that this guy's going to grade out as a huge impact over what was there before.
Let this feeling break up. Running free, running wild, never running out of style.
And with time running short, you've got to hope some guys fall into your lap, or you could be left with some real holes on your roster. And these guys are going to get themselves a great player here, whether it's A, B, or C. We've seen one Detroit Lion be selected so far. Could another be far behind? And I think that pick comes to the surprise of nobody. You had to figure they leaned that way if a player from that team became available. Now it's getting to the time of the draft where you really want to get lucky and hope somebody falls into your lap. Options here on both sides of the football. It's pretty much of a coin flip if you ask me.
You know the part of the song, everybody sings along. Well, that's us, listen up, shout it out, I'm talking all night. The end is nowhere in sight. From the streets to the tracks, here's to never looking back, cause the past doesn't last. Long as we're together, just keeps getting better, just keeps getting better. We know we are brighter than all the stars. As long as we're together, we'll stay young forever. We make the rules, break them when we want to. As long as we're together.
It's so important to find players you can really commit to in these first few rounds. You'd hate to have to readdress these same positions later on. Not too much surprise to see Green Bay players. Yeah, I think they got the best player there, and they got a guy that fills a big need, so that's an excellent choice.
In every moment, like the clock is broken.
Boy, a tough choice here, but one that any organization would love to have. How do you go wrong with these three guys? Some tough choices coming up right about now. Do you go at instant impact right there? That's a big leap forward from what they had on the roster to begin with.
Yeah, we're living wide open.
Where to now? Do you get yourself a big brute for the trenches, or someone who can really help you out at a playmaker type spot? Boy, you can't go wrong with anybody out of this group. Where to now? Do you get yourself a big brute for the trenches, or someone who can really help you out at the playmaking type spot? Boy, it's finger crossing time now. With the end, does this pick fill a big need? I'm not so sure that it does, but it is at least a slight improvement over what they had in place. And now, which side of the football will they address here? Some interesting options either way. It's the age-old question on draft day. What's the bigger need, offense or defense?
Yeah, I never played fair.
Still a few holes on this roster and not a lot of time left to do anything about it.
Did we build it? Did we own it? We even in the studios running playback.
And now's where you need to make these last picks count. Time to fill any holes you can before it's too late.
But we never run. You wouldn't need it if you knew what we overcome. Do you know what we gotta overcome? But they ain't stopping nothing. Me and my girls on top straight stunting. And we abide by a real strict code. And homies over.
If you try to shut us down, we'll show you just how we get down. And just to even up the score, we're coming kicking down your door.
We play our way.
Would rather be me.
Do work all day.
We don't see defeat.
Did we fly that? Can we buy that? We even run a full court, make it stack. Shout out to Maya Moore, the young guard, to all the girls like us, yeah, we go hard. See, this is how it feel to be a champion. We might fall down, but we never run. So proud of them that we overcome.
Do you know we gotta overcome?
We bow down to none. I wanna hail out all my day ones. Time really does fly when we have a fun, but the party don't stop till we staring down the sun.
Try to shut us down. We'll show
All right, Larry, thank you. It is indeed time for a Draft Champions matchup and what is set to be a great Draft Champions matchup. In the booth, I'm Brandon Gaudin with Charles Davis, and these guys should have a huge impact on the outcome of this game. They're ready to roll. We're ready to roll. Let's roll. And it's the birth of a new club as we're underway in Draft Champions. This is fielded a couple yards deep. He juked him, and he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. They'll run the option, and right away he lost the football. And it's picked up, and this is going to be brought back for a Baltimore touchdown. Huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Here's Tate to return. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Defense feeling the encouragement. They stop him at the line of scrimmage on the first play of the afternoon. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. On play action, Mariota. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. T.Y. Hilton, the intended receiver. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to it.
And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Benny Logan able to drop him for a loss of 2, and that'll bring up 4th down. Okay, look at this. The punt team nowhere to be found. They're on the sidelines. Offense going to go for this on the opening drive. On 4th down, they snap it to Mariota. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. A surprising move here on the opening drive of the game. And the Ravens get the football back and in great shape. And they'll start this drive with very good field position. They go play action here on 1st down. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say maybe makes that offense feel good when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
Incomplete pass on 2nd down. Let's see what the offense draws up here on 3rd. And some changes here as the D-line separates some. To throw Mariota. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Benny Logan in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Ravens, they'll take over. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And last time, one-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling, because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give him a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
Let's go.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he's brought down. A good pickup there of 20 yards. So there on that play, offensively, they were in the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage. So as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
So here we go, a third down after the second down pass completion. On the counter, here's Williams. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Feeling like they're not quite in field goal range yet. They're going to go for it on fourth. They'll look to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. 6 yards on the pickup. And on fourth down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. Boy, that's some kind of effort. When he caught it, I doubted if he could get there. Knew it was going to be close, but credit him. Really good effort.
How about the rack on that play, the run after catch? But most of the time we think of it as just being an open field and picking up yardage. Sometimes you have to be real physical in order to gain the yardage you need for a first down.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And he's going to drop this off to Williams, complete. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 12 yards is the pickup there, and that'll make this a second down.
Let's go.
They go back to the ground with Williams. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. Second quarter now. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis with you. It's the Ravens who have the football, and they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10.
Here we go.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
I know all players are taught from drive to drive, from series to series, let that go, right? Only focus on the now. But when that ball was tipped in the air, there's no way they weren't thinking about the interception that was thrown on the previous drive. Could this turn into a second one? And if it did, that could really change the way this game was going.
Well, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense. Nickelback added defensively as they look to stop this 3rd and 8. They'll set up a throw. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. And big problems getting the play out, obviously. This will be a delay. So 4th down coming up. John Harbaugh will send on the field goal unit. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder. And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. And, Charles, they get the field goal. Took him a dozen plays, though.
Work with me on this one. You know what I'm about to say, right? Bend but don't break. That's what came into play here for the defense. 12 plays were run out on. They only gave up 3 points. In a lot of ways, that's a win for the defense.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. No points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran.
Oh, and the ball's out. Matthews loses it, and it's picked up by the Ravens. And they'll have the ball set up in the red zone at the 16-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set.